Over the last few weeks, I feel that I've kind of abandoned my family somewhat. So much travelling. Not only my family, like my kids and my wife, but also the Piano Book family, the Modular Mondays family. Normal service will be resumed soon. The reason for this hiatus will become obvious over the forthcoming weeks. We're in blockbuster season at Spitfire Audio with some absolute bonza releases coming up. Besides that, I've also been preparing a thing that I'm more nervous about than anything I've ever done, ever. If I could travel back in time, say 10 years ago, and tell myself that I'd be doing what I'm going down to London to do, I would have laughed with disbelief. But for me, in the context of this vlog, it is proof indeed of the stock answer I often give when asked, and I'm asked this often, what qualifications you need in order to become a media composer, film, TV, games. Now, take accountancy. You can invest a lot of money, whole heap of time and masses of hard work in attaining chartered accountant status. You are now fully qualified to set up a practice in accountancy of your own, and naturally you'd be a junior style of accountant with not a huge amount of experience, but you would be fully qualified. So in that line of work you can become qualified, and naturally you then have to build up a portfolio of clients and experience in order to drive your kind of market rate up. Now, we don't have that form of qualification for media composition, which is fortunate because we're not preparing people's tax returns, practicing medicine, putting up buildings, or indeed flying planes. By not being qualified, we don't pose a threat to our fellow man. So, accepting that we can't be fully qualified for every aspect of this kind of multifaceted job that we do, is there particular qualifications that may be better than others? Reading music, understanding theory, or indeed understanding the management of a department. Is there a vital qualification, something we need to learn before having a fighting chance? I mean, just being a good musician, surely just being an excellent musician is the first port of call. You know what they say, if you can't play, teach. If you can't teach, compose. Maybe you don't need to be like a kind of a fighter ace in order to fly a plane, but you must at least have a firm kind of understanding of physics. What kind of? I think really physics specific to the needs of flying an aircraft. You don't need to be an astrophysicist to become a pilot. And if not, theory. Directing you to my take on the need to read music. I would argue that most art forms on this planet are ones communicated through an oral tradition, but whether that be folk music or ballet or even making sushi, these are things that we hand to one another as part of the human continuum, not necessarily something that's documented on a chart. Charts confirm, confine, control and conform us, but they can also teach us so much. The ability to just follow a score will unlock all sorts of treasures unimagined. Or a good orchestral programmer. Well, you know, I don't know. I know Oscar-winning composers who are ninja programmers. I know Oscar-winning composers who aren't. I don't know. I feel that these qualifications are not wholly necessary, and I'm a testament to that, and also why I'm so nervous today, and this is imposter syndrome writ large. I guess my point of view is these qualifications naturally become facets, part of your portfolio of offerings, but seeing people who are hugely kind of musically complex in their output, or amazing players, having to kind of unlearn what it is that is required of them as composers in our domain of media, that there definitely can be too many notes. And I've seen people who go to media composition classes coming out with technical knowledge that has become outdated or old hat. However, I think you've got to bring something to the table, even if it's just one thing, even if it's just a unique talent, a USP. I always envy guitarists and say, why are you writing all of this orchestral music? study Gustavo Santaolalla and do that. What did I bring to the table when I was starting out? Well, I was a kind of okay drum programmer in the days when film composers couldn't drum program. I could use Logic, when I'd say about 50% of composers couldn't use that either. And I guess something I've always benefited from is, certainly from my dad, is a good taste in music. Not to be undervalued, I can make sounds. In fact, that probably is the thing I'm best at, if the Spitfire thing is anything to go by. So that's what I brought to the table. You see, because there isn't this established kind of formal qualification you can gain for this job, it is understood that you have to learn on the job. And what will get you work in the future is the work that you have done and the experience that you have gained. With that in mind, it's safe to assume that when you come out of your education or when you enter the marketplace of media composition, you will do so via the doors of another composer, whether that be some form of apprenticeship. In my case, it was drum programming. And whilst those skills couldn't get me arrested today, I would recommend to anyone who feels they haven't yet developed something they can bring to the table to learn how to create sample libraries. This is something I think composers would be very interested in help with. So, only did piano to grade 5, flunked out of school after A-levels, didn't go to music college, can't really read music, self-taught composition through technology and just listening to lots, and that finds me here today, which is BBC Broadcasting House, to host a radio show on Radio 3. This is how absurd this is. Gulp. So, when I was growing up, there was 3 TV channels, BBC 1, BBC 2, ITV, and 4 radio channels, well, national radio channels. Radio 1, Radio 2, Radio 3, Radio 4. Radio 4 was the kind of speechy one, Radio 1 was the poppy young one, Radio 2 was kind of music for fuddy-duddies, and Radio 3 was the seriously highbrow classical channel. For me, to go in there and present a radio show on Radio 3 is sublimely ridiculous, and what a wonderful experience it was. Anyway, I'll be sure to let you know when this programme airs for those of you in this country have paid your licence fee. So I'm a testament to being underqualified for this job. But I think for me, it's all about creating your own personal strengths and then playing to those strengths. Do you need to be qualified for this job? I think you just need to be you. Your unique perspective, your unique heritage, your unique set of skills, what you're interested in, what you love doing, what you're amazing at, what you're talented at doing, what makes you different, the thing that makes you tick. Become brilliant at that, and then you bring to the sister and brotherhood of composers you, and that's what our fraternity and sorority will value the most. It's interesting today, I was talking to these guys at the BBC about originality, and I feel that actually originality is born out of a confluence of your influences and your talents or lack thereof. But the most important thing to do is to keep your experience and influences as diverse, as interesting as possible, so that your version of original, which is a series of batons that have been handed over from one great composer to the next in this eternal relay race of music, we all weave the DNA for future generations who are going to create music. And that's what makes this job so fucking fascinating. That's what makes it so impossible to receive an adequate education and qualification before entering into the marketplace, because to be a composer is to be part of this continuum of humanity. We're all so different, but yet we respond so uniformly to what is brilliant music, brilliant musicianship, amazing recordings, and hey, amazing sounds. Thanks, as always, for watching. I'm knackered. For sharing what's been a very special day with me here today. I may hasten to add that this opportunity with Radio 3 was born of someone watching this vlog, and this blog wouldn't exist had it not been for this community, you. So subscribe if you haven't done already. Do ding that bell if you want to be notified the next time I put up a video, and I'm going to be putting a thumbs up in thanks to you for making this thing happen today. Quite extraordinary. Lots of love. See you next time. Bye bye.